This copyrighted telecast of the NBA G League may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise used in any form without the express written consent of the NBA G League.
And welcome to the broadcast, coming to you from the Toyota Arena, located in Ontario, California. I'm Brian Arrington, along with Dan Fitzpatrick. As your Agua Caliente Clippers and head coach Brian Adams, the NBA G League affiliate of your Los Angeles Clippers, take on the visiting Iowa Wolves, the NBA G League affiliate of the Minnesota Timberwolves. Now, Dan, the Clippers, they have their hands full tonight. This team is on fire. This Wolves team, you told me they put up 152 points the last time they were out.
Iowa last night made 24 threes out of 46, over 50% from the three-point line. That is on fire. This team is coming in ready to play. They're on a back-to-back, however. So that's an opportunity for hopefully ACC can jump on them early and kind of use those fresh legs to try and slow down this hot attack.
Absolutely. So that was a season high, 152 points. Last 6 games, they're averaging 129 points. That is amazing. But your Agua Caliente Clippers, they had a nice game last game, even though they lost. When you take a look at Grantham, I really love the way that he worked down low on the block. Just easy, didn't rush, didn't go fast. You see 2 good shots of him and then Palmer Jr.
James, the leading scorer the other night with 24, doing it in all different ways, getting to the basket, shooting it from 3, and yeah, you'll see right here, driving, and that nice lefty finish. He's so skilled and smooth.
He has such a long stride. And then you look at J.J. Avila. He was our hustle guy of the night by far. He was the guy that did the plays that you have to have.
He was on the offensive glass, just outworking the other team.
And don't forget our guy from Memphis, and he told us to make sure we give a shout-out. Crawford, he plays the game with such joy. You can see when he's out there, he is completely locked in. Now, here's a look at your starting lineups for your Agua Caliente Clippers. JPJ, James Palmer Jr., Dante Grantham, J.J. Avila, Markel Crawford, and Xavier Rattan-Mays are your starters for your Agua Caliente Clippers basketball. We are just so delighted to have everyone here. And you talked a little bit about this as well, Dan. This is a big game because the Clippers are just there looking at a playoff spot.
Both teams are 17 and 18. And this is one of those games that really goes into, when you look at the end of the season, who makes the playoffs and who misses it. It's games like tonight that really decide that.
Absolutely. This is the 3rd year of your Agua Caliente Clippers of Ontario. And I'll tell you right now, if you ask me, I'm going to say we're going to get that playoff spot.
Oh, absolutely. I believe in this group.
You may call me a homer, but it is what it is. So, as I said, 3rd year, your Agua Caliente Clippers. Looked like we had a little situation with the clock, but the clock is going to get reset. You can see the 2 seconds have come off the clock, but it's still a 24-second shot clock. So that just means that they're going to make some adjustments to that. But furthermore, one thing that we talked about as well, even though the Clippers lost the last time they were out, as you said, they come in this game 17 wins, 18 losses after falling to the Memphis Hustle 111-97. They did a lot of the things that you can hang your hat on, a lot of the 50-50 balls, and they just worked hard.
Oh, no, it was a game really close, 67-67 in the 3rd, and it got away from them at the end. But a lot of stuff to build on going into tonight.
And the first turnover of the night for the Clippers is Crawford tried to hit J.J., and that's a missed dunk, so that's going to be your first foul of the night. It looks like they're going to get that on Grantham. And that's one of the things, as you said, when you looked at it, it looked like just the 3rd quarter, the Agua Caliente Clippers just ran out of gas.
It was a good team they played the other night, Memphis, a team that really knew how to score.
Absolutely, and you can see right there, I didn't see the foul, but hey, it is what it is. Like you said, going into the half, the Clippers are up 68-58, and that Memphis Hustle team, they are the leader in the Western Conference. So you knew that Memphis team was going to come out and respond.
That was the number 1 offense in the G League. Tonight, they're facing the number 3 offense in the G League, the Iowa Wolves. So a similar test on that side of the ball.
So if the Clippers can get started, can we get some players caliente? Look at Crawford. Great move. Get to the cup and one. And when he got that ball, he just went with it. He did not hesitate. He exploded.
Coach Adams feeding Markel Crawford first play of the game. And you give him that post up. That's a quick spin. Good strong finish through contact. And one.
Absolutely, and you have to think of there's a good look at Crawford, 6'4". That's just being strong, because that was a great slap that he got across the arm. But that just shows you how strong Crawford is.
You just got to spend that time in the weight room. I know these guys they're working.
Absolutely. Great backdoor play. As you can see right there, hits him right in stride as Martin gets that. Martin's a two-way player in this Wolves organization. So that was a great start for them as we have a score 2-2. And Rattan Mays puts that up. Couldn't get that one to go down, but that's going to be a good rebound for the Wolves, and they look like they want to outlet it and get it out, and that just looked like some miscommunication. It looks like they wanted the alley-oop. Duvall was saying, hey, I can jump, but just some miscommunication for the two. Last time out, your leading scorer, of course, was JPJ, James Palmer Jr. 24 points, 11 of 22 shooting. So can he get started early in this game? And on that play, loses the ball out of bounds.
That's just one of those kind of silly errors, but the point is they're trying to feed him, get him going early, and I think they'll go right back to him soon here.
And he's one of those guys, if you can get him going, I like I said, I love seeing him getting 22 shots up a game, because he's a guy that can come out and deliver for you. Got 15 seconds on the shot clock, and boy, was that a strong pass right there. I don't know if you needed a fastball in that situation.
That was Patrick Mahomes-esque right there. That was
right. Instead of the fastball, curveball would have been good on that play. So 10 and a half to go here in the first quarter. Slow start for both teams as the Clippers find themselves up by 3-1. Grantham puts it up, and that was as straight as an arrow. Just couldn't get it to go down on that play.
Good luck. We'll take that every time.
As Martin with the floater. That's a nice shot right there. Good response right there from Martin. As I said, two-way player for this Wolves organization. And Avila's a guy that you want to see. He has good shots, too. We saw them in shoot-arounds. He had a stroke as Crawford puts that up, and it's just been one of those things just lipping out.
A couple in and outs, but, again, good looks. You got to live with the percentages.
Absolutely. As Duvall gets right to the coat. And that was a nice little floater. And you can see the Clippers are looking to go. They want to go fast. As Palmer gets to the Grantham. Nice two-man game. Slamma-jamma. That was a good flush for the Clippers. And we talk about this. Passing up great passes for great passes. But you can't do that. You cannot allow Battle to get to the cup that easy.
Not a lot of defense in the early goings here tonight, Brian, for sure. Both teams getting easy layups. We'll see if this thing settles down a little bit.
And we talked about J.J. shooting. He's a guy that, and we've said this all the time, this Clippers team, I can't say any team this season's locked the team down. They're getting shots. They're just not falling for them.
And J.J. Agua, a good three-point shooter at the center position. If you get an open shot from him, you'll take that.
Just about 9 minutes to go here in the first as Martin gets a good shot. That was a good-looking shot as well. Looks like they're having the same issues with strokes. And I tell you what, Palmer Jr., he has such a long stride. It looks like he dribbles the ball 2 times, and he's already on the other side of the court.
And that's a great example of it right there. Getting to the rim, putting pressure on the defense, putting pressure on the officials, frankly, to make a call.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's one of those guys that when he puts his mind to it, and he says he's going to get to the cup, I don't think there's very many people, and you see that first step, crossover, there's not very many people in the G League that can deny him getting to the cup.
And then once he gets there, he takes his time, lets the defense follow him, and then he shoots it. So it's all about getting the defense off balance and then shooting.
Absolutely. And we talked about that just a minute ago with Crawford. That's that upper body strength. I don't know what the weight training is for the Clippers, but it's good because you can see they're just absorbing the contact, and they're still getting quality looks at the cup as Webb gets to the cup. And look at that as he gets over J.J. Avila.
Webb just named the Team USA select team that's going to go play for Coach Mike Fratello, trying to qualify the United States of America for the World Cup. So kind of a cool honor for James Webb.
Nice first step for Crawford as he gets to the cup. So Crawford's got the bouncies. And this right here, this is what you talked about just a moment ago. Got to get some defense, and just getting right to the cup is Martin.
Martin had 37 last night against Santa Cruz, and he has been just as aggressive tonight. He wants to keep it going.
As Rattan Mays with the turnaround. And cleanup by J.J. J.J. couldn't get it to go, but still working. Look at J.J. work. Never giving up. You got to love that.
Mr. Hustle, J.J. Avila. It's fun to watch this guy play.
As Duvall, nice behind the back. Got deep, didn't have anywhere to go with it. Kicks it back out, and that was straight as can be. Webb the third hits another big shot.
Webb's got great size at that small forward position, and he can really shoot it. Had a couple threes again last night. I think everybody made threes last night for him, Brian. It was when you make 24 as a team, that's a diverse shooting night right there.
That is a lot of shots, absolutely. And that's one of the things. Still Clippers basketball, but that's one of the things that you want to see. And I'm sure when head coach Brian Adams takes a look at the film, he's going to say, hey, we got to make sure we make some tighten up on the defensive side. And that's going to be a foul called against your Agua Caliente Clippers.
That was an illegal screen, but I think the thing Coach Adams really preaches there is he wants the guys set in good screens. So every once in a while, if you maybe go a little too far, that's okay. That'll happen. But you'd rather that than a guy not setting a good enough screen.
Absolutely. It happens in the game of basketball, so it is what it is. So now with 7 minutes, 27 seconds to go, the Clippers find themselves down again by 4. And Martin steps back, and that's a clean-looking shot. And you can saw when it left his hand, that just looked as straight as can be.
He was 6 of 7 from 3 last night. Like, he has been shooting it unbelievably well.
So you're basically saying he can play on the offensive end of the court.
He's a two-way player. I think we'll see him in a full-time NBA role before too long. He's got that kind of talent.
And that's the great thing. We talked about this. We were chatting before the game. Our two ways are up with the big club right now.
Actually, Amir Coffey is actually getting minutes tonight for the big Clippers against Boston, especially with the absence of Paul George. And Jonathan Motley's spending time with the big club as well and was just named to the midseason All-G League team. So congrats, Jonathan. Well deserved.
Absolutely. They're going to call it traveling on that play. He had his pivot foot, so that's an interesting call right there. But then again, I guess the referee said, nope, took too many steps. So, and that's one of the great things about the NBA G League. These, the players, the coaches, everyone's trying to get to the next level, and it's great when you can see a guy getting time with the big club.
That's a nice shot fake from Martin right there. He knows they're going to close out hard, so he puts it back on the floor, and he gets a floater.
Absolutely, and that was a great-looking shot. And with that, your head coach for the Agua Caliente Clippers has seen enough. So Brian Adams says we're going to take a commercial break. So we'll be right back on NBA G League Agua Caliente Clippers. I'm Brian Arrington, along with Dan Fitzpatrick from Ontario, California.
Or maybe we're going to get a stat here. I don't know. Yeah. Because he's got a lot, it feels like. Okay. That's that's what the gut felt like.
And we're back on the broadcast. Great look right there of your head coach for the Agua Caliente Clippers, head coach Brian Adams. This is his second year in Ontario, so we love the job that he's doing out here in the Inland Empire, just a stone's throw away from downtown L.A. where the Clippers play. And then there's a shot of the Iowa head coach, and that's Sam Newman back. Now, you were saying with Brian Adams, he started off as a video guy, and now we're happy to have him as our head coach.
And in kind of a small world, Sam Newmanbeck actually worked for Brian Adams in Boston, and now they're coaching against each other here in the G League. So it's kids, if you don't play in the NBA but you want to get into coaching, the video route is another route you can pursue.
Absolutely. I was far from playing in the NBA.
You and me both.
Absolutely. And look at the defense. You can see the defensive pressure coming up. But that's communication. When you see that screen coming, nice dish, getting to the cup. You've got to love that play as Johnson gets to the bucket. But that's one of the things where you have to communicate. If you see your teammate is about to get screened, you got to talk about that. And you talk about the video. Is that one of the things that you break down when you take a look at the video days later?
Oh, for sure. The communication is like the silver bullet of defense. any scheme that you have doesn't really matter if you don't talk it through. And vice versa. You can run almost any type of defense. As long as you can communicate it out, you can execute it on the court.
Absolutely. Good point. 11 seconds to go on the shot clock. Crawford, nice pump fake. Crawford gets deep to the cup. What's he going to do with it? Throws it up. Gets 2 points. Absorbs the contact. Gotta love the way that Crawford is really, really blossoming later on in this season. Love the way that he's developed his game this season. And they're going to call that a double dribble. That's not a call you see every day in the association.
No, it's that's right up there with carrying as far as ones that you aren't going to see every night for sure.
So 9-point deficit as your Agua Caliente Clippers trail a score of 22-13. As we said, this is a team. They're playing the Wolves. You don't, as Crawford gets a nice shot right from the elbow. Couldn't get that one to go down. And it dribbles right to Desi, who checked in. And Desi knows what to do. And he has reservation of it, too. Gets those to go down. As we said, this is a team you want to stay in contact with. They're averaging 129 points over the last. And there's a big three right there. Big three right there. Hits that one. Is Martin. As we said, over the last 6 games, they're averaging 129 points.
Martin already has 14 tonight in 7 minutes of basketball. That's pretty impressive. They're going to have to slow him down if they're going to have a chance.
Absolutely. As Crawford gets it over to JJ. Nice play. Way to keep his head up. Crawford finds a cutting Avila. That's teamwork right there. And look at that three-pointer. Just in stride. Couldn't get that one to go down. But you can see this is a team that loves the three ball.
They are trying to get out and run. And that's a take foul right there from Desi Rodriguez, trying to stop the fast break. And that's just a heads-up play by Desi there. Make him take it on the side instead of giving up an easy 2.
Absolutely. Nothing is easy in the Inland Empire. You've got to earn everything. 4 minutes, 58 seconds to go. Your Agua Caliente Clippers still staying within arm's reach. This is a team you do not, I repeat, you do not want to let them find their stride. Clippers down by 8. Brown has the basketball. 15 seconds to go on the shot clock. And they're going deep into this shot clock possession. And that's a deep shot right there. And just like that, hits a big shot. But for Murphy.
Murphy, not really known as a three-point shooter, but when it rains, it pours sometimes, Brian, for sure.
It never rains in Southern California, but that 3 did. So Rattan Mays gets it over to Nevels, who just checked in as well for your Agua Caliente Clippers. And JJ, let him go to work. Look at the footwork. Nice play. Takes the contact. That's something you can see he wasn't rushing, took his time, and got a quality shot for his club.
JJ not a big player at the center position, but neither is Jordan Murphy. So he knows he's not going to get his shot blocked. Take your time, draw that foul, and then finish. Get to the line.
Absolutely. And you can see right there on that play. That was a great play. And one thing I like about JJ, he's a guy that just doesn't rush, doesn't panic, goes up and hits the free throw. And this year, an interesting caveat for the for G League is your free throws, unless you're in the last 2 minutes of the fourth quarter, one free throw is worth 2 points. Off the 1 foot, what a shot right there by Martin.
The basket's looking a lot like throwing it into the Pacific Ocean right now when you're standing on the pier in Manhattan Beach for Keelan Martin. He is making everything.
Absolutely. And that's a good shot right there. Rattan Mays, downtown Ontario. I'll tell you, the Clippers needed that shot right there. That brings the lead back, or the deficit within 8. As I said, this is a team you have to stay attached at the hip. And I love the defensive pressure that the Clippers are applying right now. Stay close to Brown with the fall away and just hit. But if you let a man get that deep.
Brown coming off a 27-point night last night himself. And again, when you score 152 as a club, everybody's going to get involved.
Absolutely, and that was a heat check for Rattan Mays. Couldn't get that one to go down. Nice play by Crawford as he saw the cutter and stopped that from going through. Rattan Mays gets to the cup and one. You've got to love that play, and that was all because of Crawford. Got his team another possession that found his teammate and gets the easy flush.
Those advanced passes when you can throw it up the court and then get it to XRM. Has that strong finish, taking the contact, absorbing it, and scoring, getting an opportunity at the line. But it all set up, like you said, from the pass from Markel Crawford, and the players running for him. And it's great. Guys run when they know they're going to get the ball. If they don't think they're going to get it, they stop running. So that's how you get guys to keep running. You reward them.
Absolutely. So you can see right there, Rattan Mays, already 5 points. Make that 6 points. That was an N1. So that's a good sign right there. He's one of those guys, if we can get Rattan Mays going, you can get Desi Rodriguez going, you get Palmer Jr. going. Those are some of the guys you want to see them get touches and get into the cup. Nice interior pass, slamma-jamma for Johnson. And as you said, when someone knows they're going to get rewarded, they'll make the cut.
It's people respond to incentives. Big guys, when they roll, you got to reward them, or in this case, pop in for J.J. Avila. And, hey, you get him a good look right there. That's okay. Sometimes when a guy's working as hard as him, you let him shoot it.
As Crawford backs him down. Let's see what Crawford's going to do. Finds Nevels. Nevels puts it up, and that was just a little bit long on that shot. But that was, again, a quality shot. And you can see how fast they want to put the three ball up. I'll tell you, it was maybe 4 seconds off the shot clock. They are putting up shots quick as Desi gets down low, up and under. Couldn't get that one to go down, but Mr. Hustle, J.J. Avila with the putback.
He is everywhere on those offensive boards, just in the right place at the right time. And that's what offensive rebounding is all about.
Absolutely. So with 2 minutes, 22 seconds to go from Ontario, California, your Agua Caliente Clippers trail 27-30.
In a word, that would be a nice way of describing him.
Absolutely. And then don't forget he has an assist. So that is a complete game. And I'll tell you right now, the Clippers have got to be happy he's taking a break right now because he is lighting them up. Great entry pass. And that's going to be a foul called against Desi Rodriguez as he contacted LG Gill. But that's one of the things, and you think about it, that was a well-executed play coming out of the break. And you can see right there as Desi goes straight up on the play, but that's where he got him right there.
Coach Newman went with the backdoor play, thinking they were going to overplay, and he threw it to a Wigginton cut into the basket, and he dropped it off for Gill.
And that's just great teamwork. You can see, and that's, as I said, I know on paper this team is 17-18, but that is a hard belief when you see the way this team executes, averaging 129 points over the last 6 games. And that was a straight shot right there, but Grantham couldn't get it to go down as Rattan Mays is cut off as he tried to get to the cup. You got 9 seconds on the shot clock, so you don't have to go fast, but you want a quality shot. And that was it. Just couldn't get it. And look at Desi continue to work. Couldn't get that one to go down, so the Wolves dig it out on that play. And you can see this team, they want to run. As soon as they get the ball, they are looking to go.
Top 5 in pace in the G League, and we've seen good examples why. Not that time, though. Good defense by Dante Grantham. And
that's something you don't see a lot in today's basketball is Johnson down low on the block. A lot of times it's around the perimeter.
The post-in, just like you saw right there with XRM, is oftentimes the pass now. And that was a good example of that.
As they rotate, gets to Palmer Jr., and that's what I talked about. It's a business decision. People don't want to get in that man's way. He's one of those guys. He has such a long stride. It takes him a step or two to get right to the cup.
And then finish that left hand. He's got a lot of skill, Brian.
He is a skilled player indeed. Love watching his game, and that's a good-looking shot as he gets that one up, and that's Wigginton.
Wigginton playing the point guard, but he's more of a score-first player. It's kind of the new mold here in the NBA. You look at guys like Trae Young or Damian Lillard, guys that in theory are point guards, but oftentimes are the primary scorer on their team. And Wigginton's kind of in that model.
Absolutely. And as you said, the game has absolutely changed when you look at the way it's played right now. It's one of those things where your point guard, you have to – it's almost like in football when you have the quarterback, he's unaccounted for. So in basketball, if your point guard can score, it's a huge advantage for you.
It's something you have to game plan for. In traditional basketball, the point guard is more of a passer first. But both these point guards, Xavier, can score as well.
And you can see right there as he got to the cup, great play right there. And look at Wigginton. And that's just a strong – and look at Nevels. Ties them up. It's still going to be Wolves basketball, but look at the defense and checking in for your Agua Caliente Clippers. Number 32, Masterson.
Great defense by Neville here. Watch him reach in there and get a strip and just not let Wigginton get that shot off. That's strength right there.
And that's just a heads-up play. And that's one of the things when guards, when they bring the ball down, that's just something you don't want to do, especially when you're trying to get to the cup.
You give the other guard an opportunity to get it.
Absolutely. As Brown takes the shot, and that shot was as straight as an arrow. It just doesn't go down. But Desi jumping almost to the rafters, pulled down that rebound. And Desi goes coast to coast, slamma-jamma. Desi said, I can do this all by myself.
Desi, we've said it before, this guy is a freight train in transition. Do not get in his way.
Yes, absolutely. You see people make business decisions because they've seen the highlights. Desi will embarrass you. So 15 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Clippers down. This is the closest they've been in some time. They're only down by 6.
You got to like the fight that this Clipper team has showed to come back, and they're going to try and get one more stop here.
And you can see they took the first blow, as you said, and the Clippers have responded. And this is one of those things. It's a back-to-back for this Wolves team. So can the Clippers wear them down?
That's a thing. The Clippers do not have a lot of players. Only 8 guys tonight. But these guys should be tired, too. The conditioning should be on the side of ACC.
Absolutely. We'll be right back with Agua, Caliente, Clippers basketball on ESPN+. I'm Brian S. Arrington, along with Dan Fitzpatrick. And I'll tell you, I love to see Desi when he is aggressive. And you can see on that play, people made business decisions because they didn't want to get in the way of that freight train, like you said.
When he gets going, he's only doing one thing. He's going all the way up, Brian.
And that was a play. He went coast to coast. And we talked about this. When you have one of your guards that can score, that is something that the other team has to account for.
It's a factor on both sides of the ball for sure. Wigginton is a great example of that, and then same with XRM. XRM out of the game right now, so Garrett Nevels will be running the team here, but that's something that he's got to be ready for on the defensive side. Wigginton wants to shoot.
Absolutely. I tell you, all the fans out there, go to the NBA G League Twitter, and you'll see a thunderous dunk that Desi put down earlier this season. Posterized the opponent as Palmer Jr. puts it up, and that was straight. Just couldn't get it to go down. And look at Desi dig it out. What a play with Desi. You can see he is fired up for this game tonight.
Flexing on him a little bit after that finish, and you know what? He should, because he's showing off all of his muscles getting those rebounds.
Absolutely. He is a strong, strong man. As the Clippers, they are close, but there is a nice dunk right there by Gill. That's one thing. If you're the Clippers, you have got to cut off. You can't, and I'll say there's great interior passing here with this Wolves team. That's an adjustment the Clippers are going to have to make.
Yeah, just because you're excited about the play on one end, you got to keep playing defense on the other end, and giving up easy dunks, that's not going to get it done.
Absolutely. Palmer Jr. gets to the cup. Couldn't get that one to go down, but you can see they're extending full-court defenses. Palmer Jr., he's just one of those, he's a long player, and you can see once he spins his arms, it's hard to see over that young man.
The Clippers have some nice length between Grantham and Palmer certainly out there right now. That makes it hard for any offensive player. You're trying to get deflections and then hopefully get steals, get out and run.
Absolutely. As Grantham gets the ball up, gets it to Nevels. Nevels, that's a nice-looking shot. That was as clean as a brand new pair of Air Force Ones. Got to love that shot.
It's big getting an offensive contribution out of him. You only got 8 guys tonight, so everybody's got to step up.
Absolutely. 15 seconds on the shot clock. That's some great ball handling. Just couldn't get that one to go down for Murphy. But that was a good-looking shot. Palmer Jr., look at that stride as he absorbs the contact on that play. No call as Wigginton gets to the cup. Nice Euro step, but you can see Nevels is saying, hey, I think I tied him up.
Regardless, that's a strong foul by Garrett Nevels because you'd rather put the guy on the line than give him an easy 2. You get in that 2-on-1 situation, a lot of times that's the best option.
Absolutely. You make him earn it, and on that play, hand this part of the ball.
I think Garrett might have had a case there.
Yes, indeed. Yes, I agree with you on that play. And he's one of those guys with Nevels, you can't show him the basketball because he's going to find that basketball if you, the offensive player, exposes the basketball to him. So free throw is good, and that's going to be worth 2 points. So now Palmer Jr. pulls it up. Got about 10 minutes to go here in the second quarter. Palmer Jr., as I said, last time out, he got 22 shots. Look at that. Gets the ball to Grantham. Throw it down. You are clear for takeoff, Mr. Grantham. Nice play right there.
And such a smart play. His defender, Brown, loses vision, starts looking at Palmer, who draws a lot of attention. He's such a good player. Grantham goes right to the basket, get the easy dunk.
Indeed. Great, great play. Now your Clippers got to get a stop here, and just like that, getting right to the cup is Wigginton. And Crawford, look at that. With the quick response, he thought he was fouled on that play, but they're going to play on. And now the Wolves, you can see, look at the pressure they put on you. Getting to the cup, what a strong play right there for Brown.
We talk about it all the time. When you miss a layup on one end, sometimes you end up giving one up on the other end because the floor is unbalanced. Usually you're a man behind. And Crawford, all those guys just got to keep playing. You think you get fouled, you know, you can talk to the ref at the timeout, but during the middle of the game, you just got to get back on defense.
And that's a good point. And that's one of the things when you think about that, because you're putting your team at a disadvantage. If you're complaining to the referee and the other team is running, that means you're 4 on 5.
That's a math problem right there for sure.
Sure it is. So now you have Palmer Jr. bringing the ball up. And look at Palmer Jr. Like I said, look at that step. Look at the body control. Gets the call. And you can see Palmer Jr. is like, what took so long? He fouled me.
And I just love, again, him being aggressive, trying to get to the basket. You don't settle for a jump shot. Put the pressure on the defense and put the pressure on the officials and earn that call. And he's the type of player in this league. He's got respect. He's got a reputation built up at this point. He deserves getting these calls. And that was a foul right there.
And you can see the first step. He's one of those players, as we said, he's so strong. He absorbs that contact, and he continues to push the ball, hits the free throw. And this is one of the things that was a problem for the Clippers last time out here in Ontario, California. Missing free throws tonight. So far, so good. Hitting a lot of the free throws, and that's a good thing as they find themselves down by 6. As Wigginton, what a nice, that's just a heady move, holding the ball up, finishing with that left hand. What a nice, strong play.
Strong, and he's a score-first guard. Guys guarding him got to know. He's thinking put the ball in the basket, not really get his teammates involved. That's more of a secondary option for him.
Palmer Jr., downtown Ontario. Got to love that shot. That was just clean. When you hear the net snap back like that, that lets you know that's a nice shot.
We got a little duel going on here, Wigginton and James Palmer, both guys that really know how to score.
Absolutely. So that's a call against Palmer Jr. That's going to be 3 team fouls against your Agua Caliente Clippers. And this is the closest they've been in a while. They're within 5. So this is what we talked about. Every time the Wolves come out and they try to pull away, the Clippers have kept it close. And that's what you want to do. You want to keep it close going into halftime.
Especially with such an explosive offensive team like the Iowa Wolves here. But if you can get stops, now you get an opportunity to go run because you know they're being aggressive. So you got to go right back at them.
And that was the stop that you needed. Palmer Jr. just hit a big 3. Is he going to put up another big 3? Is this going to be a heat check? Look at Palmer Jr. get to the cup. Couldn't get that one to go down. Grantham with the putback. You got to love that.
The Clippers are making a living on these offensive rebounds right now. One of the great things when you miss a layup, it gives another guy an opportunity to go tip it in. That's what we just saw right there.
And that's what you just can't do. You cannot, I repeat, you cannot let a man be that open as Francis hits a wide open 3, uncontested 3.
That's exactly what I was trying to do all night is just get out and run. That's just got to be the main focus for ACC is getting back on defense.
And that's going to be a foul called. And that's going to be against LG Gill as he checks out and Webb the third checks back in. Great Great shot right there, as you said, of head coach Brian Adams. 7 minutes, 55 seconds go. 14 seconds on the shot clock, so that's something the Clippers definitely want to make sure they're conscious of. And sure, they're on the side of the court where their bench is. I'm sure head coach Brian Adams will let them know. Another foul called right there.
That's a smart play by J.J. Avila right there. Wigginton's going under, so Avila's going to flip the screen. Wigginton got hung up, and it's an easy foul.
Yes, it is. So that's one of the things, and it's going to continue to push them higher up in team fouls. So pretty soon the Clippers are going to be taking free throws with every foul. That's Matan Mays. 6 seconds on the shot clock. He knows he's looking up, got the shot going, couldn't get that one to go down as Wigginton digs that rebound out with 7.5 to go here in the second quarter. What you want to do, you have to defend that three. Nice pass. Only problem, he passed it to Crawford. As Crawford pushes, throws it up to Palmer Jr. He just couldn't get his hands on that, but that was a highlight in the making on that play.
I love Markel putting that much faith into James, throwing that thing up there. And if James had caught that's a SportsCenter top 10 if he had gotten it at the left. But a little aggressive, a little ambitious. But, man, I respect it. I respect it.
Absolutely. Hey, you won't know until you tried, right? So just over 7 to go here in the second quarter. Can the Clippers get another stop? Francis just hit a big three. Look at that entry pass, and they're going to call a foul on that play. And that's one of the things the Clippers are saying, hey, where is the foul?
That's one of those rare plays where the ball gets actually wedged between the rim and the backboard. You don't really see that too often. Usually that's a jump ball, but we'll see what the officials come out here with, if they're going to stick that foul or if they're going to reverse it and go to a jump.
Absolutely. The referees are talking. So they did call it a foul. And you can see on that play, so the foul is called. That's on that replay. I'd like to see where that foul is at.
That's I'm not sure about that one, Brian.
Neither am I. So that's one of the things I'm guaranteed head coach Brian Adams is going to be scratching his head when he is back reviewing the footage on that. Free throw's no good. What do they say? The ball don't lie?
The ball don't lie. That's there's justice in this world.
Absolutely. As Matan Mays dribbles in, but you can't do that. You can't turn the ball over as Martin goes behind the back, gets it to Francis, and one. So that's what you don't want to do. You don't want to compound that and commit the foul on that play.
It's hard to defend against those live ball turnovers, but if you are going to foul them, you don't want to let them shoot it. The and one is the worst thing you can do there.
True indeed. So we're going to take a quick commercial break as the Agua Caliente Clippers. Fans, throughout February, the NBA celebrates Black History Month by honoring those who paved the way for future generations. That tradition continues through the league-wide effort to bring people together and take action in our communities. Show how you are honoring Black History Month using hashtag BHM. I think I'll do that right now on my Twitter. So Francis with the free throw, the and one, and he gets that one to go down with just under 7 minutes to go. So the Clippers, this is one of the things we talked about. The Clippers, just a moment ago, they were down not that many, 5 or 6. Now this Wolves team is starting to put a little more distance between them.
Iowa coming out here in his zone. We'll see what James does with this here.
As Palmer Jr. gets down deep, gets it to Crawford, puts it up, and that shot was clean. Just couldn't get it to go down. But if you're head coach Brian Adams, that's something you can live with. Getting a shot that clean.
Oh, you like Markel Crawford's open shooting threes. And sometimes a coach will come out in his zone on defense to try and mess up the play that Coach Adams drew up. I think that's an example of what we just saw right there.
Right, as Francis gets that floater. Gets it up, jumps off the wrong foot, but gets that to go in. As Palmer Jr. is the guy, and they said he stepped out of bounds. And that's one of the things about these guys. That baseline, that from the three-point line, when they take that step, it's just not a lot of room, and these are big guys.
A lot of guys kind of have the habit of taking a step backwards, and when they do, you just don't want to step on the line, and that's what obviously James did right there.
Yeah, absolutely. So you got 6 minutes just about to go here in Ontario, and there's another big three for this Wolves team. I tell you, their offense has absolutely traveled.
Keelan Martin is electric. It feels like every time he shoots it, you assume it's going in, and that's another example right there.
Absolutely. As the Clippers rotate the ball, gets the ball to Desi. Desi gets to the cup. Look at the strength of Desi. Gets his own rebound, puts it back up and in, and that's sticking with it.
Between Avila and Desi, the Clippers have two guys that are just pounding the offensive glass, and that's just fun to watch.
And the Clippers down by 14 now. As gets that Martin gets that, or Duvall gets that to go down. And now you get it back, and that's a big block shot for the Wolves right there. And look at that. The minute they get the ball, they're ready to run. That's going to be Clippers basketball. What a play by Palmer Jr. That's not something that's going to show up in the stat sheet, but that's just a Headies play.
Smart and important because the Clippers can't keep giving up these fast break points. So to get a stop like that, like you said, it's not necessarily going to show up in any statistical category that the fans will see, but super important.
The most important thing, it'll show up on head coach Brian Adams' stats. As the Clippers get it, great play right there. And that's one thing with Crawford. You've got to love his aggressiveness.
And he just got a great stroke. It's always fun watching him shoot the basketball. So anytime you can get him an open look, that's a good play.
Absolutely. And now you can see good play right there with the putback as Murphy gets it. Crawford has 9 points already. Is he a guy that's going to be Caliente tonight?
Well, we'll see. I'm sure they're going to try and take him away at Iowa. So he's going to have to keep fighting. And speaking of fight, JJ, that dude fights every play.
Absolutely. And so Martin, he's a guy you talked about. It seems like every time he shoots it, it just looks clean. He missed one.
That's a welcome reprieve, but you don't want to give up this offensive rebound.
No, you don't. And that's one of the things that has absolutely hurt the Clippers, and it's still Clippers basketball. But that's one of the things, I'll tell you, the interior passing that this Wolves team has displayed tonight as they're up by 14 points. It's just one of those things that the Clippers just a moment ago, they were down by only 5 or 6 points, and now they're down by 14.
This Iowa team can score in bunches. You know, obviously any team that can put up 152 in a game can really score the ball, and they did that last night. So it's all about just keeping striking distance here.
Absolutely. It's Desi. He's got reservations for two, gets the contact. But that's what we talked about, and that's what you like to see. If your outside shot is not going down, get to the cup. Make the referee make a decision.
And he, especially going to his left, is so strong. Webb, I don't care who you are, that's hard to keep him from getting to the basket. Webb has a little size on him height-wise, but Desi's definitely stronger, and he got where he wanted to go, and now he's rewarded with a trip to the free throw line.
There you go, Desi, 8 points so far. But the most impressive thing, 8 rebounds. He's on pace for a double-double tonight, and he's got the points now. He's got 10 points, needs 2 more rebounds, and he will have a double-double tonight.
And he can do it in the first half, which would be really impressive.
Yes, it would. Yes, true indeed. Desi Rodriguez, great start tonight for your Agua Caliente Clippers. And now, great defense as well. Gets it down low. Gets that nice play, but that's one of the things that hurts. You got to get the rebound as battle, and they're going to call a foul, and that's going to be called against Crawford as he fouls the battle.
Murphy's the number 2 all-time leading rebounder in Big Ten history. And you think about all the great big men who have played in the Big Ten. Jordan Murphy at the University of Minnesota is second, only to the great Jerry Lucas from Ohio State. He can really rebound the basketball.
Absolutely. That's quality player right there. And that's the great thing about this G League. There's so many good players in this league that it's good to see them here and getting an opportunity to play professional basketball. And that's going to be a timeout for your Agua Caliente Clippers. And you can see head coach Brian Adams, he is frustrated. So we'll be right back in Ontario, California, as your Agua Caliente Clippers trail 52-66 with 4 minutes to go here in the second quarter. And we're back with Agua Caliente Clippers basketball on ESPN Plus. I'm Brian Arrington along with Dan Fitzpatrick. Now, it's been a tale of runs tonight. Every time it seems like the Clippers get within reach, the Wolves just respond and pull away a little bit.
4 minutes left here in the second quarter. Let's see what ACC can fight and do. You don't want to go down double digits. If you can get under double digits, you'd feel good going into the locker room.
And I would agree with that. And that's JJ got pushed down, but no foul call. 11 seconds on the shot clock. So that's something I'm sure the Clippers have got to be conscious of as Crawford puts it up. It's a good-looking shot. Couldn't get it to go down.
And it looks like JJ lost his shoe. He's going to have to just kind of keep playing and do his best here.
As Martin, and you talked about him, he missed another shot.
Maybe coming back down to earth a little bit.
True indeed. And now as he goes up, he was going in with bad intentions. Couldn't get that one to go down, but that's going to be Wolves basketball.
I love the aggression out of Desi, though. He's trying to dunk everything. That's just who he is, and that's what makes him special.
Absolutely. And that's one thing I love about Desi. When your outside shot is not going down, get to the cup, and you can see right now he's looking to work his way into the offensive rhythm of this game. So you got 3 minutes, 20 seconds to go here in the second quarter. Can the Clippers get a good push to get back within arm reach? And that's a missed shot. That qualifies as a stop when they don't get the basket and your Clippers come back down. Now what you want to do is make sure you set up for a good shot, good possession. Rattan Mays is a guy you want to get the ball. Couldn't get that one to go down. Still Clippers basketball. 14 seconds on the shot clock, and now they want to reset and continue to get a quality shot. Palmer Jr. is a guy you want the ball in his hand. He's a guy, look at that shot, look at that stroke. It was clean, just couldn't get it to go down.
Two good looks, but now you can't give up a layup on the other end, and he missed. So very fortunate for ACC.
Absolutely. And now Rattan Mays is pushing a Euro step, get to the cup, gets called for the foul on the play.
You love seeing the skill level at that Euro. Kids, if you're watching at home, Xavier Rathan Mays is a good guy to watch. He can really pass. He can get to the basket. He's got a nice finishing package that you just saw right there, that Euro step.
Absolutely. He is a complete basketball player for your team for sure. Gets the free throw to go down. Great play. And now your Clippers, now they're starting to inch back into this game. Can they get another stop here? Up and under, kiss it off the glass. What a play right there for Duval.
That's just too easy. Grantham and XRM got to communicate, talk that out.
As Nevels gets the ball back to Grantham. You got 15 seconds on the shot clock, so you don't have to rush. You have plenty of time. Nice Euro step. Grantham, get to the cup. Don't hurt nobody.
We talk about it all the time. That lefty finish, absorb the contact and keep it away from the shot blocker. Finish it with the other hand. That's what he did right there.
And he's another guy like Palmer Jr. Nice play. The turnover. Clippers are going to push it. Who's going to get it to Palmer Jr. Palmer, look at the step. Get to the cup. Almost lost it. Pulls it back in as Nevels gets in deep, gets to the Grantham, slammer-jammer. You are clear for takeoff.
Just a heads-up play, cutting from the weak side.
And that right there, just a response, and you can see Martin. I tell you, this Wolves team, they respond quickly.
Clearly, they have talked about if some team scores, that's okay. Get it out of the net, get it up quick, and try and get your own shot right away. And that's another example right there. We've seen it all night.
And you can see they do it as Grantham just had a big dunk, steps back, couldn't get that one. Look at Nevels. Did he come from the rafters? Put it back. What a play right there.
It's kind of been the tail of the game. Minnesota scores quickly. ACC scores on offensive rebounds. So we'll see which one can sustain it.
And there's Martin again. He missed another shot on that play as he put it up. And now with Nevels, he pushes it, gets to the cup, gets it back out to Rattan Mays. And that was clean as can be. Just couldn't get it to go down as Desi pulls it and gets it back. Kiss it off the glass. Nice play right there for the Clippers. And you can see head coach Brian Adams is telling them, get back on defense. That has been the Achilles heel for this team. Every time, and we're going to keep it here during the timeout, it seems like every time the Clippers make a basket, the Wolves are pulling it out of the net and going for a fast break.
It's clearly, that is their system. Top 5 in pace in the G League, but we'll see right here, Desi just finishing, backing him down, using his body, and getting that lefty layup. It's just a strong play by a strong player. We can't really say enough about the job Desi Rodriguez has done tonight. He has been probably the key in keeping ACC in this game.
Absolutely. He's one of those guys, and that's what you need. You need a guy that'll go in there and work hard and try to make sure that your team continues to get possessions. And just like that, your Clippers only down by 8.
Back to 8, and if anything, he just gives you an energy. A lot of the pro basketball, it's a long season. It's a grind. This is the last game before the All-Star break. It's guys who have that fire that inspire their teammates and get everybody playing hard. And how can you not be inspired by the play of Desi Rodriguez here in the first half?
Great shot right there of the youngsters. And this is what's so special about the G League. Look at those youngsters there. They're excited. You've got to love the family entertainment. And I'll tell you right now, this is the third year that the Agua Caliente Clippers have been in existence. And this Inland Empire, they are falling in love with this team. And you've got to love that. We're on the outskirts of downtown L.A. with the Clippers play. So that's always a good thing. And that's a play right there. They're going to call offensive foul. What a play by J.J. Avila, just sacrificing his body.
He gets in position, and we always talk about it, Brian. You got to fall to get the call. Look at him putting his body on the line, taking the charge. You just love to see that. That's the type of guy that J.J. Avila is, sacrificing himself for the team. And now we got a little 2-for-1 opportunity here for ACC. We'll see what Coach Adams has for him.
And you see with Palmer Jr., he knows what to do with it. He's one of those guys. I said he's a guy I want to see get 22 shots a game as they get the ball deep to Nevels. And Nevels is going fast, kissing off the glass. Who else is going to get it but Desi Rodriguez, couldn't get that one to go down. And now your shot clock, game clock are just about the same. So I would imagine, like you said, they're going to hold this till about 7-8 seconds to go.
ACC going to want to switch everything here. I was probably going to wait until about the 10-second mark, and here comes the pick and roll. And here you go. Avila switching onto the ball.
And that's a deep shot, and that does not go down. And gets the rebound and the foul. And ouch, does that hurt. You give up the rebound, and then you foul.
Jalen Johnson, a really talented player, actually played with the Clipper Summer League team a couple years ago, and a college teammate of Louisville with current Clipper Montrezl Harrell. So a guy that has a lot of ability and an NBA, maybe, again, talent.
And speaking of Montrez, he was out here a couple of weeks ago, and I tell you, the fans just love to see him out here. An L.A. Clipper here at an Agua Caliente Clipper. He sat courtside, and he took pictures with everybody, was so gracious of his time. And that's the thing about it. As I said, that's just a stone's throw away of downtown L.A. You can get the L.A. Clippers experience out here in the Inland Empire.
Oh, it's so special, and the community has really embraced this team. It's been a lot of fun.
Until you had to drive from downtown L.A. here. We'll be right back at halftime as your Agua Caliente Clippers trail a score of 70-62. It's only an 8-point game. We'll be right back on ESPN+. I'm Brian S. Arrington with Dan Fitzpatrick on Agua Caliente Clippers basketball. And we're back in Ontario, California at the beautiful Toyota Arena. This is just my personal opinion, but I think that is the most beautiful arena in all the NBA G League. I may be a homer, but it is what it is. I'm Brian Arrington here along with Dan Fitzpatrick. I tell you, the first half, the Agua Caliente Clippers, it seemed like every time they got a rhythm or got something going, the Wolves responded. Martin was one of the guys that really put some distance between them and the Clippers.
The Wolves try and fly it up the court and get those easy layups, and they did a great job of it in the first half. That's how you get 70 points. They're shooting 60% from the field. They're making almost every shot. The Clippers, though, are staying in the game because they're getting on the offensive glass. They're not making shots, but they got 15 offensive rebounds already. If you give up 15 offensive rebounds in a game, the Wolves coaching staff would be upset. 15.5 is unheard of. So Desi Rodriguez, J.J. Avila, those guys are keeping them in this game. So we'll see which one can hold up into the second half.
Right. So you said they've got 70 points so far in one half of play. They're not on pace to do what they did last game. They're only on pace to put up 140. Last game they put up 152 points. This team is averaging almost 130 points over the last 6 games. So they've got offense.
Oh, they know how to score. That is what they do. Defense, not so much. That's
right.
Not really their thing. The ACC doesn't have to stop them. They just got to slow them down a little bit. That's going to be the key. And, yeah, if you give up 21 to Keelan Martin again in the second half, it's going to be hard to win. Hands down. But they can do this. They just got to just turn down the heat a little bit on the Wolves.
Right, absolutely. And I'd say the biggest thought for me is what the Agua Caliente Clippers have to do, and this has been the biggest problem. When they're scoring a bucket, you can see the Wolves want to get the ball, and they want to push it. So the Clippers, if they can make that adjustment after they score to go back and transition defense, I think they'll be okay.
Absolutely. That is their one. I guarantee you that's what Brian Adams is talking to them about in the locker room right now is make this turnover, doesn't matter. We got to get back. And if they get them in the half court, they've done a nice job guarding them.
Absolutely.
But 15 fast break points when you've only scored 8, it's a losing number. That's losing math.
So we'll be right back. We appreciate everyone tuning in and watching us here on ESPN Plus for Agua Caliente Clippers basketball. I'm Brian S. Arrington along with Dan Fitzpatrick, and we'll be right back for Agua Caliente Clippers basketball. And we are back again in the Toyota Arena. My name is Brian S. Arrington, along with Dan Fitzpatrick. This is NBA G League basketball. Your Agua Caliente Clippers are taking on the visiting Wolves. And I'll tell you, that first half, it was exciting. The Wolves, it seemed like they couldn't miss for a minute.
Once the ACC was able to catch their breath a little bit, they were able to fight back. But then, like you said, Iowa made another push, and then ACC fought back again. So I hope what their message is in the locker room is we can do this, but what they can't do is dig another hole. That's where it's going to really get hard for them.
Absolutely. And here's a look at some of the highlights, some of the exciting highlights for the first half. And you'll take a look right here. Here's your Agua Caliente Clippers as Crawford gets to the cup with a slammer, jammer, takes the contact. What a play right there. And Palmer Jr. just loved the way his game is. His stroke is amazing.
Getting to the basket and from three, he can really do it all.
And Desi Rodriguez, Mr. Utility, he had reservations for two, and you saw that was a business decision. They got out of the way.
He's got force.
Absolutely. You take a look at that, and that's going to be Martin with getting right to the cup. He's one of the guys you talked about. It seemed like he couldn't miss for a minute there, and then followed by Wigginton. And Wigginton's a guy with a deep stroke. That's a guy that the Clippers have got to put some focus on.
When you talk about Martin and Wigginton, both those guys can really shoot the basketball. And if you look here, Iowa's shooting 61% from the field. That's way too high for ACC to have a chance to win. That thing needs to come down. On the other hand, ACC only made 2 threes. If they come back to earth in a good way, they're going to have a chance.
And that's the thing we talked about, the free throws. That's one of the things that usually is a hindrance for them. When you take a look at the Clippers, I can't say there's anything that the Wolves were doing on defense that stopped the Clippers from getting quality shots. You can see it right there. 2 for 16 from the three-point line. That's not going to get it done.
Nah, they're a way better shooting team than that. But they're making up for it. Outreading on it by 13. That's a astronomical number in one half of basketball. That being said, when you miss, there's more ones to go get. It's hard to rebound makes. So that's a little, for Iowa, not a lot of offensive rebounds because they're making all their shots.
Absolutely, and that's one of the things that's got to be led by J.J. Agua. He does all the things that you need as the Clippers have 32 rebounds, 10 assists. I love to see what they're doing on the free throw line, but they've got to step it up from that three-point line. When you think of the guys that the Clippers have, you have Raton Mays, you have Desi Rodriguez, you have J.J. Agua, you have Palmer Jr. You have guys out there that can hit threes. They've just got to get back in sync. And if they can do it, I'm sure they can. They're only down by 8 points. The score is 70-62.
Now, they're right there. They have opportunity to win this game. They got to stop Iowa from getting these easy fast break layups, and then they got to see the thing go in on a couple times on their own. And that's the difference in the ball game so far. So that will be what will make the difference in the second half.
Absolutely. So we'll be right back on NBA G League basketball. Your Agua Caliente Clippers. Brian Arrington along with Dan Fitzpatrick. And welcome back to the broadcast. Thanks for tuning in. This has been one of those games. You can see right there, head coach Brian Adams. I'm sure he has his clipboard, and this is one of those games you know that he's in there making some adjustments, and you can see he's putting some use to that clipboard.
Oh, he is a wizard with that whiteboard. I'm excited to see what he has for this first play out of the timeout, or out of halftime. But I think his message, if I had to guess, was very simple, and it was all about transition defense. That's going to be what's going to keep this team in this game, or what'll cost it.
Great shot right there of KC. And this is what I talk about with your Agua Caliente Clippers. I love the excitement. It's loud in here. These fans love this Clippers basketball team. So let's see what the Clippers, as you said, what's going to be the first play. You want to really get a bucket. And coming out of halftime. Great pass. Gets it to Grantham. Up and under. Kiss it off the glass. That is a beautiful play right there.
If you want to get all the defense's attention, you give it to Palmer. All the eyes go to him. Grantham cuts right to the basket. Easy two.
Absolutely. I tell you, if I was on the court defending him, I would have my eyes on Palmer Jr. as well. As Martin gets to the cup, couldn't get that one to go down. That's going to be a foul call on the play. So that's good. So now the Clippers get a stop, and just like that, you're only down by 6.
It's a simple game. You gotta get stops, and then you gotta go score. And I think we might be going right back to a little pick and roll here.
Absolutely. I really want to see what play now they're going to come with, because you want to get another bucket. Continue to cut into this lead as Rattan Mays rotates the ball, gets it to Crawford, and they rotate the ball to Grantham. Great ball rotation. Gets it to Crawford. Downtown Ontario for Crawford. You've got to love that right there.
Iowa went to a zone defense there, but you want to know how to get them out of a zone? Make some three-point shots. They got to come guard you then, and that's a good way to start it off. Markel Crawford right there.
And as you said, they only made 2 free throws in the entire first. You can't do that. Great backdoor pass. Getting right to the cup is battle. You can't lose contain right there, and that was one of the things the Clippers fell asleep on that play.
And here we go. They're back to the man, it looks like here.
As Crawford gets in the air, gets it to Grantham. That's the second time he's cut, and he has got an easy bucket. You've got to love that as Crawford gets it to Grantham.
It's just a heads-up play by Grantham there, and he knows if his defender goes or he's not paying attention, go right to the basket. They'll find you.
That is a great play. So now the Clippers are within elbows reach, and that's got to be an offensive foul, and it was. And we talked about that earlier. Look at JJ sacrificing his body out there.
That's his second charge that he's taken tonight. And as always, you got to fall to get the call, Brian.
Yeah, yes, you do. And you can see right there, look at him move his feet, absorb the contact. And the good thing about that is he gets a foul on Martin.
That's critical. He's their offensive leader. So anytime out, you can get him a foul as well. That's a double positive for ACC.
As Rattan Mays has the ball, I don't think they know that he has handles. Gets the ball to JJ, rotates it back to Rattan Mays, and gets it to Palmer Jr. And that was a clean shot. Just couldn't get that one to go down. And you can see head coach Brian Adams is telling, he's imploring his team, get back on defense. And getting to the cup right there. Couldn't get that to go down. It won't show up. But I'll tell you, that was JJ again using his body to keep the defender from getting easy to the bucket as Battle travels on the play. So that's going to be another stop for your Agua Caliente Clippers.
Tyus Battle out of Syracuse might have been too open there, Brian. He thought about it for so long that he ended up traveling. And James Palmer was out of the play, and then he started coming back in, and that was when Battle traveled there.
And we talk about that because these players are so long. When they take a step, it's a lot going on. As Grantham gets down low, pump fakes, gets it back out to Rattan Mays. And let's see what he's going to do. Nice shot. Looked clean. Just couldn't get that to go down. Looked like a foul as JJ was hit in the mouth. Not called as Martin gets to the cup. But that's going to be, it's still going to be Wolves basketball. But you can see right now, we talked about this. You can see the Clippers have made the adjustment, and they are finding their man in transition. Look how many Clippers are right there in the key. That is a great sign for your Clippers.
A lot of red jerseys around the basket there and making it hard on Martin to go score.
As Battle gets to the cup on the play, sometimes you just got to tip your cap. That was a great play right there.
Battle coming out of school known as a driver, and that was a good example of why right there.
Clippers down by 5, and Rattan Mays, nice shot right there as Rattan Mays gets in close.
That's just smooth, an easy pull-up. He's walking right into it. That's like a warm-up shot right there for him.
Yes, it is. And we saw him in shoot-around. He's got the stroke. So he's another guy, Rattan Mays, you'd like to see getting more touches. And now look at that, getting deep. That's something you got to cut off, and that's a play. Martin couldn't get it to go down, and they're going to be a foul called.
Martin clearly frustrated there, taking a foul after missing the layup. He didn't like that. That's his second, so it's still a ways to go foul trouble-wise for him, but it is something to keep an eye on.
But that's one of the things that absolutely frustrated Coach when you miss a shot and you go and just create a foul like that.
Yeah, it's like a double negative, but now they're back, set their defense, so we'll see what comes in here.
Clippers down by 3, 73-71, and that was a good-looking shot for Crawford. Just couldn't get that one to go down. If the Clippers could just get a rhythm going, they'd be A-OK. Great interior passing, gets the ball. What a play right there as Johnson gets that to go down.
Avila stayed between him and the basket, but Jalen Johnson just jumped over him and basically threw it in. That's a skilled play by Jalen Johnson.
And we keep talking about that. The Clippers, every time they get close, and look at Palmer Jr. hang in the air, cock it back, and look at this right there as Battle gets it and throws it down. That's been the story of the night for the Clippers. You can see the Wolves are taking the ball out of the net, and they're sprinting down the court.
It is, if you had to sum up tonight in 10 seconds, that was a great example of it. Clippers getting it close and scoring, and then the Wolves coming right back and laying it in.
As J.J. gets it to Grantham, and that's going to be a foul right there. And now J.J. will go to the line to earn those points.
Nice pass to Grantham there, and Dante going to the free throw line. But Grantham is just an unbelievable cutter tonight. Just from the weak side, every time the defense isn't paying attention, he's going right to the basket.
And you can see that's definitely got to be a halftime adjustment. Something that head coach Brian Annis must have saw. Say, hey, cut to the cup, gets the free throw to go down, and that's a good thing. As the Clippers, again, they are still within arm reach, only down by 3. Can the Clippers get a stop and get closer? And look at the defense that Ratan Mays is playing there. As Duvall gets to the cup, tries to hold that up, gets his own rebound, puts it back, and that's another problem that the Clippers have had tonight. Too many second-chance opportunities for this Wolves team.
Well, and Duvall's not really a shooter, so you can't bite on the shot fake there. You want him to shoot it. What you don't want him to do is to put it on the floor, and that's what he did right there. That started that whole sequence.
Just about 7 minutes to go as J.J. gets down deep. Look at that turnaround. That is a textbook of how you should do it when you're down on the block, kids.
That is some old-school post-up basketball right there. A couple dudes in the league doing it now, LaMarcus Aldridge, a couple other guys, but that is a throwback play by J.J. Avila, who's really a throwback player.
Absolutely. And you have 6 Clippers in double digits. Webb hits a shot, and you can see that was a great move. Remind me of one of the Clippers greats, Olowokandi, when he would get the ball down low and just turn around and hit a nice little shot right there.
That was a pretty move by J.J., and he just has got a lot of different parts to his game. He's a really fun guy to watch. And here we are, a little pick and roll for him.
As Palmer Jr. gets it up, and that's just as smooth as silk as Palmer Jr. hits that one right there. Gotta love that shot. I love his stroke.
Anytime the defense is all, again, paying attention to that pick and roll, if his man helps over, hit him, and you like it. When he's open, let it fly.
Absolutely. And that's going to be Agua Caliente Clippers basketball. And we're going to have a break in the action. It's going to be a timeout. Palmer Jr. hit a big shot just a minute ago. Hopefully he can give us more here on Agua Caliente Clippers basketball. welcome back to the broadcast. And I tell you, there have been some eye-popping dunks in tonight's contest.
You look at both teams really showing out the athleticism, guys driving to the basket and finding big guys, getting out and running in transition, like right here with Desi. It's been an exciting game, a lot of athletes on the court tonight.
Absolutely. I tell you, if I could jump like that, I'd be the happiest man in the world. I'm the guy who got hung on a Jordan jammer.
I think I could do some of those dunks if it was like an 8-foot rim.
Yes, absolutely. Palmer Jr., smooth as silk. It just couldn't get that one to go down. And this is what you want. If you're the Clippers, get back on transition defense. And that's going to be a call. That's an interesting foul right there. They're going to call that on Palmer Jr. I can say I was on top of that. I did not see that.
The important thing, though, is that Palmer Jr. got back to make the foul. So when you got 5 defenders back there, your chances of stopping them are pretty solid, and that's the important thing. Obviously, that's a point of emphasis tonight for Coach Adams.
Absolutely, and you can see right there that they weren't able to get an easy layup, so that's a great point right there, Dan. And now they rotate the basketball. They're working them deep into this shot clock as Wigginton gets up the 3 and gets that one to go down, puts his team up by 6 points. And that's one of the things. The Clippers, now you got to respond. You can't trade baskets right now. You've got to get some stops along the way. And Rattan Mays is a guy that he can get it going if he can get some opportunities. JJ, he can shoot it as well, but just couldn't get that one to go down. And now the Clippers got to get back in that defense. You got to find your men, identify your men, and look at that rebound. That's what you don't want to do if you're the Clippers, is give up an easy rebound right there. And now Desi Rodriguez has it, brings it out to Rattan Mays, gets it to Palmer Jr. What's Palmer Jr. going to do? Step back. The 3 was good, and that was, you could see JJ was locked up, and you can see he's frustrated. And look at it, Rattan Mays doesn't give up, gets it to JJ, gets it to Palmer Jr. Another call. And on the last play, as I said, you can see JJ is frustrated because the man had his arm locked up when he was trying to go for the rebound on the last possession.
That was just a lot of things going on here, but the great hustle by Xavier Rathan Mays and the presence of mind to get it to his teammate JJ Avila, dropping it off for James Palmer. Just heads up basketball.
And they give the ball to Palmer Jr. again. A lot of contact out there. That's one of those things where they kind of fell asleep right there as Palmer Jr. did the backdoor cut and gets to the cup and almost had an easy 2 points along the way.
I just love how hard this ACC team is playing. It's not all going to be perfect. Mistakes are going to happen, but it's about what you do next that really determines your fate. And if these guys are going to, you turned over, well, your teammate gets it back. That's okay. It all works itself out. So if you play hard, that fixes a lot of things.
Absolutely. 4 minutes and 54 seconds to go. And just like that, as smooth as can be, Palmer Jr. steps up, hits a free throw, cut his team's deficit to within 4. So this is positive. The Clippers are hanging in there. They're not allowing the Wolves to pull away as Brown puts up a 3. Couldn't get that one to go down. So that is going to qualify as a stop as the Clippers get the basketball. Can they get a score? You got to get some points on the board. Gets the ball down to Desi. What's Desi going to do? Desi goes to work. Desi's just so strong. Don't hurt nobody, Desi Rodriguez. And that's one of those things where the player gets knocked down and there's no call. And they're going to replay that. And that's one of the things you can see. Desi was knocked down. So now the referees are going to take a look out there. It's getting chippy. And you can see right here, and this is one of those things, Desi just took him to school, took him to work. Desi sent him an invoice because you took that young man to school. And you can see right there, after getting taken to school like that, he bumped Desi on the play.
He might have been a little frustrated there after Desi just kind of backed up the truck and put him in the rim. And it looks like the officials are going to review that and see, take a look.
Absolutely. And like I said, Desi, send that young man an invoice because you took him to school on the play. So that brings your Clippers to within 2 as they trail 84-86 with 4 minutes and 25 seconds to go. And now you have the official review as the referees are getting a look at that play. What are your thoughts on that play? To me, it looked like he bumped him.
It was something. Something happened. I don't know what necessarily they're going to determine, but that wasn't a coincidence. I'll put it that way, Brian.
Good point. I agree on that play. Nonetheless, that is a great play. And we talked about this. I just love to see the fight that your Clippers have tonight. I mean, they've trailed by many tonight, and they just continue to stay in this game.
And that's what NBA basketball, G League basketball is. It's a 48-minute game, and you can't give up ever because teams will let you back in it if you play hard, you're going to get stops. They've missed a couple shots.
So there's going to be no call. The referees confirmed nothing happened, no call. But I like that. Hey, we have the technology, use it.
Oh, absolutely. That is one of the real advances that we've had in the game in the last 5 or 10 years.
And you take a look at that where Desi gets the shot right there. And okay, so Desi, now that I take a look at it, that angle, it looked like Desi may have taken some acting classes in this time in Southern California.
This is the home of the entertainment industry, the acting capital of the world for sure, and he's in the right place for that. So,
absolutely, 4.5 to go here in the third. Clippers, as close as they've been in a while, only trail by 2, and this is one of the highest scoring teams in the league. Look at Desi going, gets that out the air, pushes the ball, gets it to Nevels, up and under, gets it off the glass. Tie ball game, folks. It is a brand new game here in Ontario, California.
Desi Rodriguez sniffed out the play, broke it up, and then made the right play on the other end. What an awesome sequence for Desi.
And it helps when you can jump as high as Desi Rodriguez can.
Yeah, and a lot of guys know that pass is going there, but he can go get it. And then also the presence of mind to find his teammate Garrett Nevels, and Nevels with that nice little reverse finish.
And that's one of the things that I love about your Clippers team, passing up good shots for great shots, getting it for your teammates. And I just thought about this. Your Agua Caliente Clippers, 4 points to success, fight the fatigue, individual defense, paint finishing, and screen action defense. And there you go. There's a screen, and there's the defense. Look at the defense. Look at Rattan Mace fighting, digging up. Clippers can get a lead here. And that was one of those things. I guarantee you that Xavier, he wishes he had that back.
Yeah, he went for the home run pass there for sure. But I loved his on-ball defense. That's really the story of that play to me. Just keeping his man in front, getting the steal, and getting out and running. That you keep guarding like that, they're going to be just fine.
Absolutely. Just under 4 minutes to go, 3.5 to be exact. It's Wigginton, great entry pass, gets it to Murphy. That is a nice executed play right there.
And Murphy, he's a big-time roller and athlete. Not a big man as a center, only about 6'6", but he can really jump and he can really play.
And that's one of the things I'll tell you right now, head coach Brian Adams is frustrated about. But Grantham puts it up downtown Ontario. Grantham hits a big 3 for your Agua Caliente Clippers. The Clippers are leading now.
It's funny how when you start making plays on the defensive end of the court, how those threes suddenly go in on the offensive end. That's a great example right there.
And we talked about that. The Clippers were not hitting it in the first half at 3, but now, oh my goodness, great pass right there. Go ahead and take a shot, Dan.
I'm not going to lie. You probably couldn't see that. I actually caught that pass. My hands are so good. I'm locked in. I'm paying attention out here, Brian.
Absolutely. I tell you, I got out of the way. I was a little nervous. That was a fast ball. So we're going to take a quick commercial break on that assist to Dan Fitzpatrick. With 2 minutes and 57 seconds to go, your Clippers are up by 1, leading 89-88.
I was going to say, can you cue me up for it? Because I got a joke about that if you can set me up. I said, I got a catching joke if we could. Man, that was a great catch there.
Yeah. And we're back in Ontario, California. And I tell you, Dan, what a catch.
You know, it's actually the 43rd birthday of my hero, Randy Moss, today. One of the greatest receivers ever lived. I hope that somehow he saw that catch. That was for you, Randy Moss. We love you.
There you go. And look at Desi get to the cup. And you can see the Wolves made a business decision as they got out of the way on that play. What a night he's having. 14 points. He has 11 rebounds. He has a double-double. We said it. We called it. We knew Desi would get that double-double tonight. And your Clippers are up by 1 as Crawford gets it in deep. And who else do you get it to but Desi? Desi couldn't get that one to go down, but look at the Clippers dig it out and get another possession. That is exciting for the Clippers fans.
I love what Garrett Nevels has brought to this game. Just a lot of great energy, playing more than maybe he's used to, and he's really contributing. He's earning his minutes.
Great block by Brown. And you can see Desi has said, hey, he wants to review that. But on that play, they're going to play on. Clippers still up by 1, 2 minutes, 19 seconds to go here in the third quarter. Can the Clippers get another stop along the way? There it is as Nevels gets it. You're clear for takeoff. Throw it down. Slamma-jamma. And you can see that was a business decision as Wigginton said, hey, go ahead and get that dunk.
Garrett Nevels going all the way up.
Great play right there. And this has been a dunk contest tonight. I think these guys want to get in the dunk contest for the All-Star game. And look at Desi dig it out. But great play as he takes the foul against Murphy. But you can see on this play, you are clear for takeoff, Mr. Nevels. Slamma-jamma. Good play right there.
And I just love the defense that led to the dunk, too. Just taking it from his man. This ACC team has raised their level on the defensive side of the basketball here in the third quarter. It's been fun to watch.
Stole his cookies, as I like to say, with 1 minute and 52 seconds to go. And now Murphy will step up for the free throw. And the free throw is good. And that cuts the deficit down to 1 as your Clippers are still up. But they've had some large deficits tonight. So this is great the way your Clippers have responded. I mean, as we said, this is a team that scored 152 points the last time they were out, the Wolves team, as Desi gets in deep. And Desi's down low, 9 seconds on the shot clock. And look at Desi, gets the foul on the play. And Desi will get to the cup. Desi is just one of those guys, he's so skilled. He's a guy that when he puts his mind to it, he can get to the cup at any time.
He meanders, he takes his time, he's patient, and he's so strong. He just gets to his spots, and especially gets to that left hand, and it's just hard to move him. He's so strong.
He's one of those guys that will lull you to sleep. And then before you know it, he'll take that first step, and he'll be right at the cup. Steps up, and this is a good thing for the Clippers, as they are really doing well from the free throw line. That is something I guarantee you right there. Here goes Brian Adams is going to be excited about when he gets together with this team and takes a look at the film tomorrow. As Wigginton has it, your Clippers up by 3. Can the Clippers get another stop? And yes, is that going to be Clippers basketball? No, looks like it's going to be Wolves basketball. Still going to be Wolves basketball. So 8 seconds on the shot clock, and you can see right there. Clippers wanted to challenge that, and I'm with them. That should be Clippers basketball.
You just love getting your hands. You know he's going to make that pass to the roll man. Try and get a hand on it, get the deflection. Even if you make it go out of bounds, that's still a good play by the defense.
So 8 seconds on the clock, and they know it. As Brown gets that up. Couldn't get that one to go down. Now the Clippers dig it out. And so that's great defense for your Agua Caliente Clippers.
And in getting those contested rebounds, that's really the difference in a lot of close games.
Absolutely. It's Grantham hit a big three a minute ago. Couldn't get that one to go down, but that was as straight as an arrow. But just couldn't get that one to go down for your Clippers. Great play right there. That's something, again, it won't show up on the stat sheet, but that stops a fast break possession.
Just using your length, you know where the pass is going, just get a piece of it. You don't have to get a steal necessarily, but if you make it go out of bounds and you got to set your defense now, you get another chance to get a stop.
About 50 seconds to go here in the third quarter. And look at Nevels. He has turned up the defensive pressure. Wigginton gets to the cup. Sometimes you just got to tip your cap. Great first step by Wigginton. But I like the defense that Nevels is bringing to this game.
His energy level has been excellent.
As the Clippers are up by 1. Palmer Jr., get to the cup. Kiss it off the glass. Don't hurt nobody, Mr. Palmer Jr.
And a perfectly executed 2-for-1 out of ACC right there. They shot it about 35, starting about 10 seconds if they can get this rebound.
A good point. And that's one thing. Can they get a stop? Wigginton just got to the cup. Gets to the cup again. He's a guy that you've got to reckon with.
He's a professional scorer. He's a score-first point guard. That is his intention every time he steps on the court. And now we got one shot here coming for ACC.
And as you said, they executed the Clippers last time down, executed the 2-for-1. So this is the second opportunity, as Palmer Jr. just hit a bucket a moment ago and hits another one. And look at Palmer Jr. And look at the Clippers get back on defense. Are they going to call a foul? No foul called on that play. So that's going to be the end of the third quarter. And I'll tell you, your Clippers have dug their way out of a hole, up by three at the end of three here in Ontario, California on ESPN Plus. I'm Brian S. Arrington with Dan Fitzpatrick. We'll be right back. And we're back in Ontario, and I'll tell you, this young man has brought his A game tonight.
You talk about the three most efficient ways to score in the game of basketball. It's from the three-point line, it's at the rim, and the free throw line. JPJ, excellent at all three areas. 20 points in 3 quarters tonight already, along with 3 assists. He's not hogging the ball. He's making plays for his teammates as well. Really been a key there, especially at the end of the quarter there with 2 really nice baskets.
20 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. I'll tell you, 6'5" guard out of the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. What a prospect he is Wigginton. You said it. He is a score-first guard, and you can see that he comes out with the intention to put the ball through the hoop.
That's just a lot of this team is a lot of guys that are thinking score first and score often, and that's going to be the difference. They got to guard him.
As JJ downtown Ontario, JJ with a much-needed 3 for your Agua Caliente Clippers.
And a great play out of the timeout by Coach Adams there, getting his center a 3. Not necessarily the first play you'd think of, but he's a good shooter when he's open. That's a big shot.
Put your Clippers up by 4, and you've got to love the way their offense has really come alive here in the second half. As battle rotates, and look at the defense. You've got 5 seconds on the shot clock. Look at the defense, but look at it. It's just Brown gets to the cup. That's a great first step.
Nice play to keep it alive, but I just love the effort and the intensity out of ACC. You tip your cap to the offense on that one. If you keep guarding like that, you'll be just fine.
Absolutely. And this is one of those things. Do you think this is where the Wolves, you said they played back-to-backs. Is this one of the things that maybe their legs are starting to go on them?
It's a real factor for sure.
As Crawford downtown Ontario. Crawford, look at him.
And just like we talked about at halftime, ACC was going to have to hit a couple threes, and sure enough, they have here in the second half. That's helped them stretch this lead to 5.
And that's good. And Brown just hit a shot, just hits another shot for his team. And it just seems like the Wolves are one of those teams where they're one-man offense. Whoever comes up and dribbles the ball up is going to get the shot.
They're probably the one who wants to shoot it. ACC wants to give up floaters and mid-range 2s, and if you give up those, you'll probably win the game, and that's what they gave up right there. So don't give up shots at the basket, and don't give up those open 3s.
Crawford just hit a big 3 just a moment ago. Couldn't get that one to go down. but nonetheless, your Agua Caliente Clippers still up by 3. Can they get another start? Wigginton's a guy that has had a hot hand to start this fourth quarter. Couldn't get that one to go down. Clippers dig that one out. That's a good thing. You don't have numbers, so you want to pull it back, and rightfully so. Nevels does just that. 17 seconds on the shot clock. Still got plenty of time. Rattan Mays is a guy that can shoot it, and just like that, he proves me right as Rattan Mays hits a big shot for your Clippers.
We got a little Canadian point guard on Canadian point guard duel right here. Xavier Rathan Mays and Lindell Wigginton, both Canadians, and they're going back and forth at it. I love it tonight.
And how global has this game become as Battle puts it up? Couldn't get that to go down. But this game has become so global when you think about the players now in the NBA and the G League from around the country.
And it's fun. There's a generation of Canadian players coming into the league, and I think we're going to see another one, in large part thanks to a guy named Kawhi Leonard, who plays for your L.A. Clippers.
Right, absolutely. And he grew up a stone's throw away from here. We're in Ontario, California. He grew up in Moreno Valley, so he's right up the way. And paying homage, Ontario, California is actually it was created by the Chafee brothers, who were from Ontario, Canada.
That is a fun fact, Brian. I did not know that. You learn something new every day.
Well, I know my daughter goes to Chafee College, so that's the reason I learned these things. So
that is great knowledge.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So 9 minutes and 23 seconds to go. 24 seconds on the shot clock. The Clippers want to continue to apply the pressure. Up by 5. You want to continue to get stopped. Brown got to his spot, and you can see he felt that. He was in rhythm.
He, coming off at a big night last night, 27 points. He is super aggressive. Like a lot of these guys, when they get the ball, they're thinking score.
Absolutely. As Rattan Mays gets it down deep, and now he wants to bring the ball back out. Gets it back to Rattan Mays. He's got 10 seconds on the shot clock. That's a deep 3. And it looks straight as an arrow. Just couldn't get it to go down. But, that's the trend now in the NBA. People are taking such deep three-pointers now.
Now, you see it every night. You'll see a guy shoot them from the logo sometimes.
As Wigginton gets that one up. Couldn't get that one to go down. Fighting for the rebound. Sticking with it. Nice play right there as Murphy gets the putback.
The Minnesota Golden Gophers showing off why he's second all-time in Big Ten history at rebounding. And those are the plays that are going to decide this game.
Absolutely. When you take a look at it, it just sticks with it, seals his man off. And you see he had the advantages. He had Crawford right there, and that's a battle that he should always win. Unable to get the and one, but he cuts the deficit with his bucket to only 1. The Clippers were just up 5, so that's a 4-0 run that the Wolves have responded with. And gets that one to go up as Crawford gets it to go down. It looks like that's going to be a foul called. They fouled JJ. That shot's got to count.
I would think the foul happened after the basket went in, and then a foul. It looks like on Jordan Murphy here. So JJ Avila will actually shoot the free throw here. One of the weird quirks of an and one.
And this could be a chance of getting a 4-point play.
They're very rare, and even rarer, the 4-point play where the shooter isn't the one who shoots the free throw.
Absolutely. But you can see on the play when JJ was down low, he was thrown to the ground, and he hits that, and that's what you have to have. So now the Wolves are trying to respond, and the Clippers keep responding to pull themselves away in the lead. And that's something that is exciting for me. Can the Clippers continue to apply the pressure? As Murphy gets down deep, what a great play right there. As Crawford came out of nowhere and disrupted that easy, would have been an easy layup.
ACC is really locked in, trying to get their hands on balls wherever they can. Deflection, strips, steals, and here's where, coming from the weak side, Crawford getting in there and just ripping it away, forcing it out of bounds.
And that's what I love. I love seeing active hands. And, again, that's not something that's going to show up on the stat sheet, but that's something that head coach Brian Adams will look at when he takes a look at the film tomorrow. As Wigginton gets in deep, rotates the ball, and that was a clean-looking shot as he gets that one to go off, and that was Webb the third. And that's one of the things. The Clippers are working them deep into the shot clock, but the Wolves are making them.
Webb's a very capable shooter if you leave him open, but like you said, really a good defensive possession. And Dante Grantham answers the bell right there.
And that was just clean as can be the minute it came off of his hands. You just saw the spin of the ball. That was just a beautiful shot right there.
He's having another big night, and that's really been one of the keys for this ACC attack.
As Grantham gets the ball, and you can see the Clippers want to run, and look at Crawford. Gets it in deep. Crawford hits a big 3 for your Agua Caliente Clippers. What a play right there for the Clippers Nation.
And Coach Sam Newman back taking the timeout. He doesn't love it, Brian. He doesn't love that quick, nice little run, 6-0 run there for ACC.
Absolutely. So you can see right now, is this going to be a full or a half? I think it's going to be a full. So we will be right back on Agua Caliente Clippers basketball on ESPN Plus. I'm Brian S. Arrington along with Dan Fitzpatrick. And welcome back to the Agua Caliente Clippers broadcast here on ESPN Plus. I'm Brian S. Arrington along with Dan Fitzpatrick. And I'll tell you, Grantham, what a night that young man is having for this Clipper squad.
He has really done it all. First getting to the basket and then hitting a couple big threes down the stretch. And then defensively, it's just really been fun to watch.
And that's something you can't do. You can't give up a backdoor to Martin and then foul him along the way.
He's a guy who is really capable of getting hot. He had 21 in the first half, had not scored in the second half until right there. What you can't have is him get a little confidence here and try and take over in this last 7:20.
And he's one of those guys who came out hot to start the game. So he's a guy you don't want to have see the ball go through the net.
No, a lot of those guys, it just takes one or two plays, and then suddenly they're right back where they left off.
Absolutely. So your Clippers are up 115 to 109 with 7 minutes and 10 seconds to go. Can the Clippers continue to apply the pressure and score? And Palmer Jr. is a guy you want to see get to the guy. Well, how did he do that? Up and under, kiss it off the glass. That was a beautiful shot.
He levitated for a second there, Brian. He just hung in the air and then laid it in. That was a fantastic play.
Absolutely, as Wigginton sticks with it, and that's still going to be Wolves basketball. And I love that. Even though the Clippers did not get the ball, I love what Palmer Jr. did. Go in and fight for the basketball. It's still Wolves basketball, but that was not an easy putback by Wigginton, which it would have been.
Now, this has been a gritty performance here in the second half by ACC.
Absolutely. As Johnson has the ball, got 8 seconds on the shot clock. Clippers, and that's you can't have as Martin. Great play. Backdoor gets to the cup. Easy 2 points.
2 back-to-back backdoors for Keelan Martin. Like we said, not somebody that you want to give easy baskets to because that's how he gets his confidence, and then he starts hitting the tough ones.
Cuts the deficit to 6, and Rattan Mason misses the shot on that play. And this is what you got. You have to continue to score, get into the cup, and that's going to be still going to be Wolves basketball.
A nice play by Dante Grantham there. He was kind of sitting on that James Webb Euro step, waiting for it. It's such a popular move now. He was waiting, and he got the deflection as a result.
And you can see Webb thought that he was fouled on that play, but the referee says, no, you're not. But look at the backdoor play. I tell you, they've got some of the best backdoor plays that I've seen this season. And with that, there's going to be a timeout in the action. And head coach Brian Adams, he is frustrated on that play. And this is going to be a full timeout, fans. So we'll be right back from Ontario, California at the Toyota Arena. I'm Brian S. Harrington along with Dan Fitzpatrick on Agua Caliente Clippers basketball. And we're back in Ontario, California. And look at Crawford. He has been on fire tonight.
4 threes tonight. ACC as a group only made 2 in the first half. We said they were going to need to get hot here in the second half. And Markel Crawford has led the way shooting the ball. ACC with 8 threes here in the second half. And that has been a big part of their run.
In the second half, is Crawford Caliente? I would say yes, he is. And Palmer Jr., he's a guy you like to see taking a shot. Just couldn't get that one to go down. And this is danger time for the Clippers. Nice play by JJ as he rakes that out of there and gets his team another possession.
Just another deflection from ACC. That has been one of the true themes here in the second half.
Only a 4-point lead for the Clippers. And on that play, they're going to call that a blocking foul. And you can just see right there the long stride of Palmer Jr. as he gets to the cup. Man, does he have a nice first step. And
he wisely avoided Jalen Johnson looking to take the charge there. He got to the side of him. Jalen Johnson leaned a little bit, and that's a blocking foul. That's an easy call for the official.
So the Clippers are going to go small. You still have Crawford in the game. You still have Rattan Mays in the game, and Desi Rodriguez checks in for the game as well. So you have 3 guards in the game.
Coach Adams with a kind of a limited number of options here, but you got Avila and Desi. Those guys are going to have to get the rebounds.
As you said, the Clippers only have 8 guys tonight available to play. So now can the Clippers continue to get defensive stops as it rotates the ball? That's great ball rotation for the Wolves. Couldn't get that one to go down. Palmer Jr. just yanks that out of the air for your Agua Caliente Clippers.
And that's very fortunate. Keelan Martin, not a guy you want to leave open.
Palmer Jr. steps right into a 3. Downtown Ontario. Palmer Jr. He's caliente. I'm going to call it. He's feeling it. He stepped right into that shot.
James Palmer has all the confidence in the world, and he should. He deserves it. He has been excellent tonight.
True indeed. And I believe this is only a 30-second. And you can look at that. Palmer Jr., when you're feeling it, you're feeling it. And you're looking right there. He's saying, yeah, I've got range. And if you don't know it, Mr. Johnson, now you know Palmer Jr. has range.
He just timed it up. He slowed down, took his time, got in the rhythm, and then he pulled right in Jalen Johnson's face. And that's 3 points. Put it on the board.
Absolutely. So we are in the Inland Empire, Ontario, California. We talked about this a little bit. You talked about the Wolves just had a game, and this is one of those things. I think that fatigue is starting to settle in for them, and you can see now they just don't have their legs as much.
This is going to be a big test here, this last 5:23. Are you tired, or do you want to find a way to win this game? They're down 9. They could easily mail it in, head into the All-Star break, or they can dig in and fight. Well, we're about to find out.
Clippers are up by 9. They're up 122 to 113. Like I said, this Wolves team, they just put up over 150 points the last time they were out, and that's a 3-pointer right there. And they said, hey, we're here to play basketball.
Keelan Martin, not going to miss too many in a row. He missed that last one. He got a good look. He knew, give me another one, Coach. I'll knock this one down.
He is not a guy you want to allow. And you can see Palmer Jr. has the mismatch he wants, takes the first step, hangs in the air, couldn't get that one to go down. But who else digs it out? JJ gives his team another possession, rotates the ball, gets it to Rattan Mays. What's Rattan going to do? Rotates the ball to Crawford. Crawford just hit a big 3. Hits another 3 downtown Ontario. He had reservations for 3. Nice shot right there for the Clippers. And we talked about the Clippers only hit 2 threes in the first half, but their 3-point shot has woken up. I don't know what head coach Brian Adams told them at the half, but whatever he told them, it is working.
Sometimes when you're going through that slump, you just got to keep shooting. There's no rhyme or reason sometimes about why you're making or missing, but if you have good shooters like Markel Crawford, you keep going back to him and you say, we trust you, keep letting it fly. And I love the confidence XRM showed right there, drawing the help and kicking it to his teammate, Markel Crawford. Markel Crawford rewarded that trust.
Absolutely. So great play right there for your Agua Caliente Clippers. Foul on the play, so there's going to be some free throws coming along the way. And now some confusion. Referees are trying to see if that was a 2 or 3. So now there's a break in the action. The referees just want to go and confirm and see. So that's team foul number 3 that they were correcting. So 3 team foul. It wasn't a 3-pointer. It was 3 team fouls that the referee wanted to make sure that he corrected. And free throw worth 2. Could not get it to go down. I'll tell you, the free throw has become so important this season with this rule change.
Especially with a guy who's a good shooter like Lindell Wigington. When he misses one, he's missing 2. He usually wouldn't miss 2 in a row. So that's a really crucial swing and really a big change in the rules.
And you can see that with Palmer Jr. again. We talked about this in the first half. Palmer Jr. was outside of the three-point line on the baseline and wanted to take a step to explode to the cup. Stepped out of bounds on that play.
You just need that kind of a court awareness there, knowing where the lines are and not stepping on it.
And Martin is another guy. And look at that shot. I mean, he has a quick release. It's just like when he shoots the ball, it's so effortless.
He has all the confidence, and so does Coach Newman back in now Minnesota back here in his zone, trying to just slow down ACC. Nothing else has been working, so they're going to switch up their defense.
That's what Mays shoots that up. Couldn't get that one to go down. You got about 3.5 to go. You don't want to give up another 3, and the Wolves gets to the cup. No foul call, and you can see right there on that play, Wigington was looking for the foul. Referee says no as Crawford puts up the 3. Downtown Ontario, another big shot by Crawford.
That guy is feeling it right now. Get him the basketball.
Absolutely, and so is Martin. As Martin gets to the cup, couldn't get that one to go down. Almost gets a putback, but J.J. Avila snatches that out of the air to give his Agua Caliente Clippers another possession.
Let's see if they go back to Crawford.
Crawford hit a big 3. Gets the ball to Palmer Jr., and the Clippers are feeling it. And you know what? The Wolves, they need a timeout.
I love the unselfish play, Markel Crawford there. He had it going, but he saw his open teammate, James Palmer, and he dropped it out for a dunk. That is fantastic, unselfish basketball.
And that's one of the things when you think about it, you think about that. Crawford just hit the big 3, so you can see the Wolves were adjusting, to him. But when you keep your head up as a guard and you see a teammate cutting to the cup, and you talked about that, players are going to cut if they know they're going to get rewarded.
And they've been rewarding them all night. ACC sharing the ball, and that's really a thing. They don't have necessarily one guy who's going to have it all the time. They got a lot of different weapons, and it's fun. That's a fun way to play the game. It gets everybody going. You're playing hard on defense. You're sharing it on offense. What more could you ask for?
Absolutely. And this your Agua Caliente Clippers team, only 8 guys available to play tonight. And that was one of the things we talked about it. That was one of your Agua Caliente Clippers, 4 points to success, and one of them was fight the fatigue. And you can see right now your Agua Caliente Clippers are doing just like that. As Duvall, look at that. The active hands for the Clippers as Duvall gets down deep, but couldn't. And look at JJ, active hands again, but it just dribbles. And what a slamma-jamma by Johnson. And that's one time, sometimes the ball bounces that way.
It's not going to be perfect, but I just love the effort, the deflections. There's 2 on that play alone. You keep doing that, you trust it. You're going to get those bounces more often than not.
And that's a big shot right there. Crawford, he's unconscious from downtown Ontario. Big shot right there.
And he has it going. They need to keep going back to him.
And you can see right there. And you can see the Wolves are trying to get a 3. Euro step. And that's going to be a foul called against your Agua Caliente Clippers. And we talked about this at the half. The Clippers were not doing well from the three-point line. They may have heard us. Maybe they were listening to the broadcast and said, we can't shoot 3s.
I wish we could take that kind of credit, Brian, for coaching them up.
We can't do that?
If it was that simple, I would say it every half. That being said, no, some of it was just a math thing. They were shooting 12% at the half. They weren't going to shoot 12% for the game, and it has evened out for sure.
So you mean the players aren't listening to my broadcast at halftime?
You know, I'll have to check with Coach Adams and see.
Absolutely. Just about 2 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. Your Clippers up by exactly 10 points, leading 133 to 123. The Clippers, this is one of the best offensive productions they've had all season as Rattan Mays gets to the cup, and that's going to be Wolves basketball.
A lot of contact there, but no call. That's okay. I love the aggression out of Xavier.
And this is the one thing you think about. The Clippers are up by 10 with 2 minutes to go here in the fourth. And you can see, just like you said, a lot of contact. You can hear head coach Brian Adams. He's coaching to the very end. He's asking the referees, there's nothing on that play. So he is coaching all the way until there is no time left on that shot clock or game clock, regardless of the score, regardless of how much time is left. And here we go. You are set for takeoff. Palmer Jr. Slamma-jamma going down. Nice play right there. And that's almost a turnover. Is that going to be a back? Nope, no backcourt violation. That is a backcourt violation. It's going to be, I tell you, the defense that your Clippers have played in this quarter, and you are clear for takeoff. Palmer Jr. Slamma-jamma. There you go. Throw it down, young man.
And that's what ball pressure does. It makes guys make mistakes, and it gives you easy, fast break opportunities. And then what's the fun part? When you get to throw it down. And that's what James Palmer did right there.
Absolutely. And I said, this is the Iowa team coming off a season high, and that was a heat check right there for Crawford. And this is a team that scored 152 points the last time they were out. That was their season high. And for this Clippers team to hold them, I guess holding up someone to 123 points. But this team, they are, as we said, in the last 6 games, they're averaging 129 points. This Wolves team is. So hopefully
ACC can keep them under their average, which, again, I'm saying that in air quotes because that's a pretty impressive average to hold them under. But to put up 135 is a pretty impressive achievement for a team that basically played 7 guys tonight, too. Nick Patterson played a couple minutes, but it's been a 7-man crew, and they have all had great displays tonight.
And Palmer Jr., look, did you see that jab step? What a play right there. I mean, he's just so skilled. Even though he didn't get that shot, he's so skilled on the offensive end of the court as Duvall wants to get to the cup. And then he gets him back on defense, but they're going to call a foul on that play. But that's just not giving up on the play.
Just stand between your guy and the basket, and you think you have a chance to block it. Maybe there's a foul. Yeah, probably right on the arm there. But just solid. Just solid basketball. Make the offensive player make a play. And that's what James Palmer did there.
And that's one of the things, the first rule of basketball is to stop the ball. Now that we're under 2 minutes in the fourth quarter, you will get 2 free throws, so it's no longer worth 1. And now you'll actually get the true 2 or 3 free throws when you step up. But that's one of the things with the Agua Caliente Clippers, not giving up. I love their defensive effort in the second half.
That's been the difference. They came in down 8. And they have locked up, and they've only given up 54 in the second half so far after giving up 70 in the first half. That's an awesome adjustment, and it all starts with the coach, Brian Adams.
Absolutely. Under a minute to go as we're trying to make Euro step up and under. Don't hurt nobody. Xavier.
They might have to start calling it a Canadian step if he's going to keep doing it that way. That was fantastic out of Xavier.
And stepped out of bounds, and that's, again, what we saw. And like you said, that was the Canadian step.
The Canadian step. And another out of bounds. That's our third one of those of the night as well. Guys gotta watch those lines in the corner there.
Absolutely. So Rattan Mays, his game did travel with him from Canada to the States. What a player he has been this season for your Agua Caliente Clippers. You got about half a minute or so to go. Is he going to put it up? We'll see. Look at that first step. My goodness. Did you see that first step around the world? Gets it to go in. What a first step.
A lot of high skill level in this ACC team, but that was right up there with anything we've seen tonight.
Absolutely. He lulled him to sleep on that play, and then he just exploded with that first step. And you can see now the shot clock is no more. So your Agua Caliente Clippers will let this game clock play out. What an impressive response for your Agua Caliente Clippers tonight.